Hi, my name is Abel. In this video, we'll be looking at 5 key best practices for creating a virtual machine. This tip will help you improve performance, security, and reliability in your environment. I promise to keep it short and straight to the point, so let's get started. Tip number one, configure the virtual machine CPU settings. When setting up your virtual machine, it is important to configure the CPU settings to match your workload. That could directly involve setting the number of virtual processor based on your application requirements. Of course, you have the option to either enable or disable CPU compatibility mode based on what you need, especially when you're working in a live migration environment that spans through different hardware. When it comes to working with nested VM, you can consider enabling nested virtualization if you want your virtual machine to run inside another. Key number two, use Generation 2 VM. If possible, always use Generation 2 VM. This is because they offer better performance, improved security, as well as more advanced feature compared to its Generation 1 equivalent. This is because they directly support secure boot as well as trusted modules platform, which enhances security. Also, it improves boot speed as well as gives support to UEFI instead of its BIOS equivalent. Generation 2 VM directly improve your boot speed and also supports your UEFI firmware. When it comes to disk size as well as your memory, it gives you the ability to have a larger disk size as well as a better memory management compared to its Generation 1 equivalent. Key number three, configure storage settings. We know that storage plays a crucial role in virtual machine performance as well as reliability. So when it comes to storage, consider using a VHDX file instead of a VHD. This is because it gives you better reliability and features like automatic corrosion protection. And of course, you can have a larger disk size with your VHDX because it directly supports up to 64 terabytes. When you have the option to choose the right disk, if performance is key in your environment, you can go with the option of a fixed size disk. If efficient usage of storage space is key in your environment, you can go with the option of dynamically expanding disk drive. While if you are working on a test environment or a demo environment, you can go with the option of using a differentiating disk. Key number four, assign sufficient memory. We know that RAM allocation is critical for stability and performance. In the light of that, when you are setting up your virtual machine, ensure to set the startup RAM according to the workload requirement. That means you have the option to either enable dynamic memory to allow your virtual machine adjust to memory allocation based on demand, or you can go with the option of manually assigning them. Avoid overcommitting RAM because it can lead to performance degradation as well as multiple virtual machines competing for resources. You can leverage on the memory priority settings to allocate resource efficiently across your virtual machine. Key number five, configure network settings. Network setup is crucial for connectivity and performance. When you have the option to choose the network adapter, choose between a synthetic adapter or a legacy adapter. For compatibility with the older environment, you will always want to go with the legacy adapter. When it comes to IP addressing, ensure you configure static IP addresses for critical virtual machine to ensure consistency. When it comes to critical assets, you might not want their IP addresses to always change. Take for instance your domain controller. In that case, you have to leverage the static IP addressing option in order to assign your IP addresses to virtual machines of such. Use virtual switches to manage network traffic efficiently. So you have the option to pick between external, internal, as well as a private virtual switch. When picking any of these options, if internet access is a key priority for your virtual machine, you have the ability to select the external switch. What if you want your virtual machines to communicate with each other? That's where you can leverage on the internal virtual switches. While if you're working on an isolated environment, you can always go with the private virtual switch option. You can always leverage on bandwidth management to prevent a single virtual machine from consuming too many network resources. And there you have it. 5 best practices before creating your virtual machine. This tip will help you improve performance, stability, as well as security in your environment. If you found this tip helpful, ensure you like as well as subscribe for more tech insights. See you in the next video. Cheers.